Okay, so welcome to the Netdev 21 closing session. I'm Tom, here with the rest of the board. So we have Rupa, Jamel, and of course Tshirts. So we'll be running our closing ceremony. It'll be the kind of the usual thing. So we'll go over the highlights, background. We'll cover the financials, and then we'll have Q&A. So as usual, once again, Netdev I think was a blast. Another good set of topics, a lot of intriguing conversation. I would point out this is our second virtual conference. I would say hopefully it ran a little bit smoother this time, but we are still adapting to the new world norm. Personally, I'm hoping that we can get back together soon. Kind of miss you guys, but circumstances, we'll have to follow those. Thank you to our sponsors. So we had quite a few sponsors this time. Platinum was Intel, Juniper, Microsoft. Gold sponsor Google. Silver sponsor Facebook. Quite a few bronze: Jump Trading, Zevanet, Mojitatu, SecureNet, SecureNet, I guess, AMD, Linode, Mobile Edge X, NVIDIA. We have a couple of community sponsors: IPsec and Network Security Association. Connectivity sponsor was OVH and Media LWN. So give a round of applause for our sponsors.
And I would say a round of applause for all the people who make the sponsorships possible. I should repeat that our numbers are very, very small and it takes a lot of effort. We do not have a fundraising arm. And some of the money that goes into much of the money, as you will see, that goes into the conference is required to be able to put the infrastructure that we are using right now. So thank you for all the people who made it possible as well.
Yes, and that includes the people at these companies for the most part, and other companies. They actually help out a lot, and they've been very helpful in facilitating the process. So each company kind of has its own method of doing it, but they're really nice about it. So really get good interactivity or interaction with the company and the industry. So it's working out really well. Thank you to our organizational team, Kim, Christy, Jamel, Jeremy, Steve, Tshirts, Rupa. This is the team that put in all the hard work to organize the conference. The conference it's kind of a year-round thing to organize it, as you can imagine. So there's a lot of planning. In this case, since it was, again, virtual, somehow you would think that's easier than a live conference, but in many ways it's actually more difficult. But again, that's the circumstances, and I think the team did a bang-up job this time around. So if we can have a round of applause for our organizational team. Special thanks to Kim and Jeremy. Put in the extra effort. So I believe Jeremy was our AV master, was at all the recordings. It worked out great. So we can have a round of applause for them.
Well, Tom, we're going to ask Jeremy to speak for a few minutes. Jeremy, I guess he's not on stage. He can't speak.
You want to bring him on stage?
Let's see.
Jeremy, you can come up on stage.
You'll have to invite him.
Okay, I'll try to bring him up. I thought he had super root.
No, once you're the host, so you have to invite him.
Right.
Tom,
right. He's on.
Hello.
Hey, you want to speak to your experience in running? You're the AV guy this time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, never really made videos before, but it was nice to meet everyone and record their videos, and hopefully I didn't do it too terrible of a job. It's definitely not my expertise, but it was enjoyable for me, and hopefully I helped sort of display your work in a way that's somewhat agreeable to you. That's my hope.
Any, Jeremy, any particular thing that you thought went well, things that didn't go well, things that you would want to change, message for speakers, input from speakers that are worth sharing and seeing if people agree?
Well, I mean, you all did a great job with your talks. As far as the platform we used to record, it left a lot to be desired, I think. I don't think, if we find something better next time, we would use a different platform, because that one was a little bit too minimal. I think most of us can agree on that.
Makes sense.
Okay. Tom, we lost your presentation, by the way.
I'll bring it back up. Thank you, Jeremy.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Okay, so next on the accolades list is our esteemed program committee. So the program committee is basically the group of people who review all of our proposals. They make technical comments, look at how the proposals fit into the conference, make suggestions back to the authors. Really, this is where the content, or at least the quality of the content, comes from. So every proposal is reviewed by some subset of the program committee. The program committee this time around, again, they did a spectacular job. We had quite a few repeat offenders, so to speak, coming back. We also had some new blood, which is always good. And we've seen this time around definitely a lot of interaction. I think we had a lot of quality work. Special shout out to Stefan, our chair, and then the rest of the committee. If we can get a round of applause for them.
Shurjit, do you want to speak to what you just pointed there?
Well, I just said that we are recruiting for the program committee. So anybody who's had a lifelong desire of being on a program committee and doesn't know where to take it, please contact us.
It's a great experience, obviously. Something you can put on your resume, by the way. And definitely, we always want, always looking for new people. One of the critical things, obviously, about industry and networking development, we're always looking for that new idea, the new input. Program committee is a great way to do that. So think about it. There will always be another NetDev, so you can contact us if you're interested. Our submission shepherds, so that's myself and Shurjit. So the shepherds are not actually part of the program committee. Our job is, in some sense, easier. We're just kind of monitoring what the program committee is doing, making sure that they go through the process, and really, there's no decision making on our part as to the quality. Again, that's all the program committee. So our job is just kind of to guide the process, and it's a nice job. Once again, I think it's working out pretty well. I think we have a pretty good model. So thank you. And shout out to the Netdev Society. So the Netdev Society, I believe, was founded by Jamel, 4 or 5 years ago. This is, I think, our 7th or 8th conference. So we continue to do that. Netdev Society's role is to provide basically the sort of conference environment, bring the community together. It is primarily focused on Linux, but I think we've been expanding it a little over the years for more really low-level networking development. So the Netdev Society has a board. I'm a board member. Rupa, who's with us, is actually our newest board member. She joined recently, so welcome, Rupa. Shurjit has, again, been with us for, 3 or 4 Netdevs now. And of course, the man with the plan, our hero, the guy who brings us all together, Jamel.
Oh,
I think Jamal wanted to have a speech, Tom. I think he was saying
I think it's time for you.
it's
We
for
don't have a
the,
lot of time, so make it short.
the new person. It's always the new person. That's how we indoctrinate, right?
It wasn't.
Okay, we have two speeches.
I mean, the amount of effort Jamel puts into it is staggering. He really is the heart and soul of the conference. So, by all means, I think if anyone deserves applause, it's Jamel. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say that if any one of you is walking away with a positive experience from this conference, there is a percentage of that positivity that you have to attribute to Jamal, because if he wasn't there kicking everybody into gear, we often would miss some of our deadlines, if not all of them.
So I think one of our feedbacks to AirMate should be we need a standing ovation icon.
Oh, okay. Embarrassing.
Okay, but let's continue. So we also have to thank our speakers. So the speakers are, in fact, the essence of the content. And once again, we had quite a nice docket of speakers, wide variety, a lot of different inputs. We also had tutorials, we had workshops. There's a lot of interaction. The benefits and the value of a conference like this really depends on the speakers and the presentations. Having quality speakers helps significantly. I think they did a great job. So it looks like we're getting a lot of accolades for that. Thank you. Thank you, speakers.
Don't forget to submit your papers and slides.
And those papers and slides. Thank you. Thank you, Jamel. Always getting us back to reality.
Well.
Okay, last but not least, thank you to our attendees. That's basically you. So, as usual, we had a very enthusiastic showing, 346 attendees. This is basically probably about the same amount we had last year. So we're doing really good on attendance. Very diversified, 28 countries, spanning most of the continents, it looks like. Might be missing Antarctica, but looks like we're represented by 7 continents. So it really is an international, highly diversified conference, spectacular job. And again, it's not just that people attend, but the participation, the interest levels. This is really what drives the quality that we're getting out of this conference. So thank you very much to everyone for attending. Okay, so now back to a little more administrative business. So T-shirts, basically we're doing a little bit different this time. So the program committee sponsors and one per session lead have been allocated T-shirt. If anyone else would like a T-shirt, they are available for shipping and a minimal fee. The reason we're not doing it the same way as last time, unfortunately, people provided fake addresses last time. Hopefully won't see any, yeah, there we go, some sad icons for that. So that wasn't such a great thing. And it created a little bit of a mess. So this time we're doing a little bit more organized. If you do want a T-shirt, please send the request to info@netdevconf.info. Some stats. Okay, in lieu of T-shirt sizes, so let's take a look at this. I haven't actually seen this one. So it looks like the XDP workshop, okay, that led our attendance 114, understanding Linux networking stack 102, these are top sessions. TC workshop, always a crowd pleaser. Ooh, introducing PT tables, that's cool. And the industry perspective, so we had high numbers for those. So that's awesome.
So I should add a commentary there that this because this is live attendance, but because the platform allows for people to replay afterwards, there's a lot of statistics that probably don't show up here, but we'll probably get them at the end. It was nice to be able to replay
So the one real advantage of all online is that everything can effectively be logged and tagged. But I thought the most interesting statistic was the top left one, which is only 17% people came to meet Jamal at a table.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, came to a table.
And Donald and David.
And Donald.
Okay, so we'll work on that. All right, so that's our in lieu of the T-shirt sizes. Well, hopefully when we get back together, we can go through the T-shirt sizes. That's always my favorite to look at because that gives us the trend of people and their physical makeup. But anyway, let's go down. So one thing we do at Netdev, we do present our finances. We are a nonprofit, so we are very transparent. We do have bookkeepers and accountants that are doing the books for us. Everything is by the book, very transparent. We don't hide anything, obviously. So this is the revenue breakdown for the last Netdev 20. As you can see, the registration fees, sponsorship income, our sum revenue was about 75,000. And the expenditures that are listed here for the last conference totaled about 51,000. So one thing I would point out, this is kind of interesting because this is really the first conference that we did have all virtual. So the expenses changed pretty dramatically. So for instance, there were no bursaries because no one traveled. There were no meals and entertainment. The amount we spent on the equipment obviously went up. So there was a little bit of trade-offs here. So it's hard to say that this was a normal conference. I would imagine that as we continue virtual conferences, this profile may stay the same. Go back to physical, it changes. You know, obviously if there's hybrid, then we'll see some changes. So this time around, we actually had an excess revenue over expenditures of about 24,000. That is not profit. What that is this time around, that was a difference. I would also point out that Netdev over the year has expenses and does have a little bit of revenue from some pre-conference fees. Does have some of that. So we also will release our yearly financials, which would reflect more of the Netdev Society financials. So this is just for the conference.
And I just want to point out that notice it's a five-digit number. These are very small numbers in general, right? So when we think about conference fees, when we ask about sponsorship, just remember that we are dealing with narrow margins. To Tom's point, right? Like if there was a $20,000 meal expense, the number suddenly goes from excess to deficit in a very simple short step.
Yes, and this goes back to the fact we want to encourage attendance. We are trying to keep the registration fees as low as possible. I believe this time around we really made it low because it was a virtual conference, and you know the sponsorship really helps a lot. You know, again, if you think there's value in this conference, please encourage your various companies, organizations to continue to sponsor Netdev. That helps a lot. But again, we are nonprofit. All of this, and I would point out the board and most of our support staff is volunteer. So we're doing this basically for the benefit of the community. So that's the story of financials. With that, let's open it up or have the open mic. So as usual, we are looking for honest feedback, the good, the bad, the ugly. I know we'll probably get, there were some technical difficulties. Let's talk about that if we need to. The tools, quality of presentations, and then, ideas in the future where you might like things to go. So by all means, let's open it up for Q&A.
Okay, so please raise your hand. That's how you get to the mic, and you can queue there. Anybody chatting there, please just go on the mic. It's the last day, last session. You don't be shy.
You might want to read the good from the chat. Replay feature is amazing.
All right.
The lounge was really great.
Lounge apparently is very popular, so
Only 17% of the people really love the lounge.
I think people are kind of not used to this kind of stuff yet.
Yes, yes.
So, Donald, do you want to chime in? Okay, there's a raise. Okay, there's Salim. All right.
Hi guys, I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. I would just like to thank you, all of you guys. I mean, like, it was such a privilege just being with you all, and it's such a wonderful platform for, an open interaction in which all the industry leaders and people like you are like gold of the veterans of the networking world, and it's a lot of learning in this platform. So I would highly recommend this platform for anybody who's starting his career, mid-age people, or even who is even the ending part of his career. So it's such a wonderful platform. Thank you so much for all of this and organizing this.
Thanks.
I see a couple of Airmeet beat Zoom notes. Is that a general?
Do you want me
what's the consensus on that? We could do a poll.
Yeah, do you want to set up a poll on that, Shurjit?
Just doing it right now.
Okay, awesome.
So, while Shurjit is doing that, let me just, again, there's another one on the lounge from David. Any one of these guys? I know. Anybody? David, you want to come on stage? Shurjit is setting a poll. Maybe you could say something.
I can tell David was in the lounge for a long time.
Yeah, it'd be great if maybe David come on and give us a plug for the lounge, so next time we can get more attendance.
There you go. I just sent him an invite. Yeah, he's there.
So the poll is live. Go for it. David is live. Go for that. All right. This poll is a little. All right. We got one for Zoom.
Who is that?
That's funny.
David, can you hear me?
David? We can hear you type.
Okay, let me just.
Oh, you can hear me type? It's saying I can't get on stage.
You were there.
I'm stuck in this loop. I say try again, and it says unable to join due to internet connectivity.
No, you're on stage. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just sending you a message on chat. Yeah, no, I liked hanging out in the lounge, and it's kind of that same equivalent of pulling up a seat on a couch and talking to people walking by. So yeah, I would encourage people to use that again. If we use this platform for the future conferences, to take advantage of that feature.
I thought you were going to ask for like beach chairs and margaritas to go with it. Like if we do this for real, we'll actually have to have a lounge now, Jamal. See what
BYOB, I guess. That's what
I think
BYOL.
Fantastic experience. I think the one thing we should probably have done in retrospect, Jeremy, as well, this message to you, is we should have created a table for every session, right? So, and of course, there's more general sessions. We had a lunch table where Donald was always at the lunch table. Then we have a performance discussion table, and we have a happy hour table, and then the other tables had just like numbers. So next time, probably we should create ahead of time all these tables for every session, so people can congregate that afterwards. It's a really great experience, I think.
Though hopefully, Jamal, next time it'll be in person. So that means you'll have to have every table with a little Airmeet station so that you can have hybrid.
So my view is we probably should keep the virtual aspect of the conference, even if it's totally safe to meet in person. There are a lot of people who would benefit, I think, from this. I'm curious about people who are not happy. They're not in the right time zone, like Australia, India. If they can make comments on what the experience was. If you can come up to the mic and say something.
Right. I think we had a comment on that. That obviously makes, 3 a.m. in the morning going to the lounge probably isn't a lot of fun for people.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamal, can you pick me off stage, because I am stuck in this loop and it's got this little pop-up.
I can get you off, I think.
Thanks.
All right.
If there was beer in the lounge, that would probably help. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the lounge. We can go over some more of these comments.
Yeah.
Emojis on the replays.
Yeah.
That would just be feedback to Airmeet, right?
Yeah, I'm going to close the poll, by the way. I think at 31-1, 96.8 to 3, we have clear. I think the lead is unassailable. Even if the remaining 10 people came in and voted for Zoom, I think Airmeet wins.
Yeah. Ankit, do you want to speak to your experiences since you're connecting from India? I can invite you on stage if you're willing to.
He said yes. Do it.
Okay. There you go. I think there's somebody else from Australia that seems to be showing up live as well. Not the upside down guy. Yeah, but
We can't get.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
We can hear
We can hear you.
yeah. So yeah, this was first time I was attending Netdev, and then I have attended few conferences here in Bangalore itself. There used to be a lot of them, but now I'm not even like there are no online or like in-person conferences, right? So I'm attending many of the new SIGCOM and other conferences, but this one was unique because we are talking directly about the new features going into the kernel. It's not very theoretical kind of thing. So it was a very nice experience. And yeah, I could attend, I think I could attend initial 4 sessions. I think there are 5 sessions per day, right? But the last session I had to miss because it was like little too late for me in the night. I'm not sure next year onwards, I'm not sure if it's going to be online. But yeah, at least this COVID times gave an opportunity for me to attend the sessions. It was great.
Did you use the replay feature at all?
Yes, I did. So that I actually did not join for initial 2 days. I came to know about only later after the 2 days, right? So then I replayed few of the things. But then while replay, you tend to speed up and all that, so you lose some context, and then it's not as fresh when you're watching it live. So yeah, that is there.
Okay. So first time attendee, different time zone. That's great. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for conducting this to all of you. I think it was a very nice experience, and hopefully sometime I would also be able to present some of my work here.
So do you want to talk about your comment about having the papers beforehand?
Yeah, so basically for many other conferences, I see that we already have the papers posted on the website, and then generally like I'm able to read it through and before, and I can know how much it relates to my work or my interests, right? Here, I did not find that to be happening. I think generally I could find the papers of the last Netdev, so I browsed through few of them, but then I think it's generally done post the conference and not before. And
Well, it's a little bit stylistic as well, right, Ankit? Because this is more of a developer conference, like you said, right? Sometimes the code is being written till the slides are made, which is the night before the presentation happens. So,
right. Tradition when we have a physical conference, most people actually work on the slides on the plane. So,
yeah, sure.
I mean, if you want, Shurjit, if you want to set up a poll on that, we could do that.
Yeah,
I think there's trade-offs here.
Yeah, the danger is.
Let's do that. Let's do that as an offline poll. I think that's we should send it to all the people because we've asked that before as well.
The challenge is getting all these kernel hackers to do things on time, write the paper.
Yeah, we lose a little bit of our flavor if we try to make it too regimented.
Here's a comment from Ido. Right. I think we can switch Jeremy for the speakers. Maybe we can have.
This is an air meet special.
No, it's. I think he is talking about Jeremy. You want to come on stage and just share your experience as a speaker and the whole experience of getting immersed in this. I'll invite you, and then if you can show up, that's fine. Just send you an email.
So Ido said it's about the recording, Jamal. It's an air meet thing.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, it's an air meet, not the. Well, he's here.
He's here.
Yeah, so I don't have much to share. It was about the recordings with Jeremy. I don't remember the platform. How is it called?
What's the platform name, Jeremy? I keep forgetting. It's.
I think it's StreamYard.
StreamYard, right?
Yeah. So it wasn't a very good experience in my opinion. We had to do the recording several times until we got it right, and I think that also in the S-Flow session there was a delay some of the time between the presentation and the audio, but I'm not sure if this is an Hermit thing or the recording. And generally, yeah, it was better to use PDF than PowerPoint. That's why we had to do the recording several times.
Jeremy, did you see the delay? I didn't see it on my side.
Yeah, I did see a delay on AirMeet when it was playing back. And there was a bit of an issue with the audio at times.
What was fine?
I had a question on that, Jamal. Sorry, one quick one, Jeremy. When the delay happens, is it reproducible or is it the stream breaking up? Because the audio and video are encoded separately, so it's possible that the stream is broke up on playback, or is it broken?
Yeah, I think there was two issues in this case. With that particular session, there was a bit of network congestion at the recording platform StreamYard when it was being recorded. And so this caused some actual audio problem, a little bit of lag here and there in the actual recording. And then I think also when it was airing on AirMeet, there was also a lot of interesting internet congestion all over the internet at that point. I think it was in the news even. I saw this, and that also caused an additional problem of a lot worse overall playback.
I think Akamai went down that day, if I remember.
Yeah. So part of this is in the original, though. Unfortunately, is for that particular session, the original recording is a little bit having a little bit of troubles.
So the other thing is, I think it's a great idea to record. We saw the challenges we had with Eric. So all the speakers should be recording ahead of time. Should I continue putting more questions on the screen here?
So the breaks help with dinner. I think that's super important.
So looking through the comments, people like the break, so that's good.
Okay. So
anyone else have a comment before we move on?
Oh, there's a few comments. So the problem is nobody wants to line up on the mic, and I just want to make sure that we can address the comments maybe. So this one here is from Ivan. Yes, we'll have this for. So the platform is available for us probably for the almost a year. So you can as long as you're registered, you can always log in and play back. I think I have to get back to you on that. We also, I don't know if you have a slide on this, Tom, or not, but we wonder if the platform is also available for us to hold other meetings. So if you have like a community meeting you want to hold, we can set you up. You can just contact us, and maybe Jeremy will set you up some sessions, tables. We already paid for it, so it's available. Right? Does that answer your question, Ivan? All right. I think that thumbs up is from him. Sorry, which one? Which other comment do you want me to put up, Tom?
I don't see those Q&A coming in, but I was just looking through the chat. There's a bunch of comments about breaks, which is good. There's a comment that we should have big TCP on the internet so Eric won't have his problems.
Okay, that's
about it.
little bit of a cynical thing, but okay.
Feedback to Amit. I think there's quite a few of these, like Matthew. Hey, Matthew, you're from Australia. You want to speak to your experience? Oh, he raised his hand. Okay. There you go.
G'day. Everyone hear me? Yeah.
You can hear you.
My dots are doing stuff. This is my second time, and I'm only really attending because I'm interested in a topic, but my skill set is actually in a different area. And because it's virtual, I get an excuse to come and listen and learn lots. So if this ever becomes in-person thing again, I need to either convince my employer that it's worth sending me, or having this option of remote would be awesome, to be honest. It is very late though, but I'm used to that being an Australian. And so, yeah, I didn't get to really participate in the lounge much because after 3 a.m. I decided sleep was probably more important. But the big problem, it's not really a problem, and I think people joked about it in the chats, was when you watch the replays, it's awesome to have them available, except the emojis don't come up. They're not recorded. So when you got like Jamal saying, "Oh, thanks everybody," you know, oh well, you can't. I'm assuming there's a bunch of their claps going on. But that it's not really a negative, it's just something to do. Oh, one other annoying thing I found about the platform is when you go to the schedule and you want to like find out what's going on Friday or Saturday my time, morning my time, there was no indication that there was another tab. There was no like little arrow. There was no scroll bar or anything. So for a while, I'm like, there's no Friday. Like, where's Friday's schedule? Until, well, you know, someone said just use, just use your arrow keys. So, oh, yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, the schedule indicator is very confusing, and then there's one for the administrators that's even more confusing than anything else. So I think that's definitely feedback that we need to provide.
Otherwise, it's been a great platform and a really great conference. So thanks everyone for putting all that effort in.
You're taking note of this, Amit.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a comment here from, I guess, the breaks that Tom had brought up, but let me just put it on here. Martin, you want to speak to this? Was the break too short, too long? Did we hit the right, time? All right, there you go.
Yeah, well, the break was long enough for me, but I guess it depends on which time zone you're organizing in. I'm in Europe, so it worked well for me.
Mm-hmm. It was 35 minutes. Okay, anybody else has a comment on the breaks? Should we, so 35 minutes is good enough? Okay, there is a commentary from, okay, Ivan, I guess, Ivan now doesn't like in-person conferences anymore because he can't joke about bad network connectivity.
Okay, that's good.
Let's break on that to the next slide.
Okay, and of course, more jokes. You guys are funny. Okay, will be awesome. Okay, here's another feature I think that's useful.
Yeah, I wrote that down already, Jamal. I had one question for the time zone people, or specifically people not in our time zone. Are you, when you see the schedule, is it in local time zone? Does it tell you anything about where it's presented? Or okay, so I'm assuming all the thumbs ups are saying it is in local time. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it is in local time zone that you're at.
Perfect.
Okay. And another commentary here from Tom, if you've caught it already. Srijit?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. I'm monitoring the chat since everybody is typing there. All right. So here we go.
Well, there was my comment.
Yeah.
Conferences, like live conferences, they have more than one mic. So that was really irritating. AirMeet was great otherwise, but we really we should be able to bring up 3 or 4 people on the stage if necessary, because if you don't do that, it's really hard to get that kind of interactive discussion going amongst, attendees sometimes. So that was a little restrictive.
So Tom, I mean, yes, I agree. The thing you could do is what we just did, right? You can actually invite them to stage as a speaker and then take them out. It's only the Q&A mic that is restricted to 1. Otherwise, you can have up to, right now we have 8 people on stage.
I think to Tom's point, if you go like conferences like ITF, you could have 4 mics. Right?
Yeah.
And then you have 2 people talking to each other, they're on each mic, contributing to the discussion, typically.
Yeah, I miss that live aspect when, you have 2 passionate people who are, getting into it in a topic, and eventually the organizer has to shut it down. But, there's something interesting about that. That very interactive aspect, I thought, was just missing a little bit.
There is one opportunity I think we could address. Sorry, go ahead. I'll put it on the screen. Well, go ahead and.
So I had a question for, again, I guess we are losing people as well, so maybe we should wrap it up quickly. For speakers, I'll put this in the general poll we'll send out later as well. Did people have any, how did people feel about talking to a blue screen? Because the one thing that Zoom had that we don't have now is any sense of who's out there, right? You're speaking to just effectively the compere and yourself. Was that for speakers, for audience members, was that problematic? No one noticed?
Okay, that's comment of the conference.
Yes.
I used to be a Windows driver developer. I'm used to speaking on a blue screen.
And of course, someone to go away about that. And
all right, I think I got my answer.
I think that's a good place to leave it. Srijit, did you want to do the poll on Netdev?
Yeah, so I'll send this out later, but if people wanted to express any suggestions or thoughts, continent, quarter in the year, aligned or not to ITF plumbers, we've had these conversations before. I think we've already lost enough people at this point that it's probably better to do it as an offline poll, and I'll send that out.
Right, and bear in mind, we have no idea where the pandemic's going, so we at this point we can't say whether or not next year at this time it would be virtual or we'd still have, or it could be physical. We just don't know. Clarity is still not with us, so bear that in mind. We will have the conference, but we'll have to figure out the logistics in time.
And before we close, we still haven't gotten that speech from Rupa, so there's that.
Well, I just want to apologize that I had the Tom's ramen slide twice. That was
yeah, that would make people hungry too. Okay, so let's wrap it up.
Sorry, you're going to do the polls after?
Yeah, I'll send some, because this thing will get shut down, right? So people won't be seeing the polls. I'll send it out as our standard Google Forms to the people thing.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just curious as to whether people, well, if in reality our next one was going to be in Europe, right? I'm just throwing
by standard rules.
There was no COVID.
Right, and assuming COVID doesn't have a hotspot issue there and travel rules and like Tom said, right, all the problems that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
So, for example, by the way, Jamal, today you cannot have it in the U.S. because nobody from outside the U.S. can enter the country. So we have to look into things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if we could, it'd be hard to find a venue.
Yeah.
It's not practical as much as I wish it was. We'll have to play it. I mean, we have to play it by ear. So at least we know now the uncertainty. It was interesting 16 months ago when all this was starting, we had a huge run around trying to figure all of this out, but at least that stabilized. So, and I think that is the new norm. All right. Does our board have any final closing comments before we adjourn?
Does it start from the top on the screen or to the bottom, going up?
I'll do it. Rupa, do you have anything?
No, thanks everybody. Thanks for all the speakers and attendees. This was a lot of fun.
Sujit?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I was definitely very nervous about the second go around at a full virtual and whether we will be virtual, whether we will be physical, whether we'll get all the stuff done. And not to mention, everybody is summering right now after being locked up for 15 months. So just having the attendance and being able to put the material together was not a given. So sorry, Matthew. Some people are summering and some people are wintering. Anyway, so thank you for everybody who attended and thank you for everybody who contributed material.
And Jamel?
I would say the same. I'll just echo what Shrijit said. And to the speakers, please submit your slides at least so we can release them, because there's other people outside the conference that want to see your contributions to this.
All right. So with that, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Christy, also. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next year. So we will now adjourn, and this is the completion of Netdev 21. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.